Hey everybody, welcome to Cardio Kickboxing. We're starting out today just learning some basic punches, some basic kicks, and some other things that we'll be incorporating into our cardio portion of our workout. Okay, starting out just making a fist. So make a fist for me. Make sure that the thumb is not inside of the fingers. If that was the case and you made contact there, you would probably break your thumb. Not be good. So make sure your fingers fold down, the thumb goes on top, and also that the thumb is not sticking up. Okay, it is laying flat across the fingers. Okay, knuckles should be flat, nothing popping up here. Okay, fingers are flat. So when you make contact, you're making contact with that flat surface of the hand. Okay, so we have our fist. The second thing you need to be aware of is always keep your guard up. Your guard, these two hands, your two fists, always up by your face so that you can protect, can dodge, and be ready to hit. Okay, so always keeping the guard up. Okay, each hand by the ear. Okay, the cheek area. All right. Next thing is tucking under. Okay, this is really important in cardio style kickboxing because if you do not control this area, you won't have very good support for your back. Okay. So when I say tuck under, it's going to feel a little awkward, probably look a little awkward, but it will protect your back, okay? You're going to bend in through your knees, tuck under with your pelvis, and engage your core. You should feel that right off the bat, engaging the core muscles, strengthening those, and it's going to protect your back. If you do the whole cardio portion in this position with the rear stuck out, you're going to feel that across the back. In the morning, the next day, and that's not where we want to feel it. We want to feel everything in the muscles, never in the joints. So making sure that you're not sticking out here, that you are tucked under at any possible time. This is your stance. Now, that does not mean to round the back. Pull the shoulders back and have good posture here. So a bend through the knees, a tuck under through the pelvis, and straight posture through the back. Okay, always keeping the guard up and fists not clenched too tight so you're wasting energy, but they're there ready to tighten in order to hit. Okay, so those are the basic things that you need to remember, whether you are punching, whether you're kicking, whether you're just doing an ab exercise or any of the above. Okay, starting out with just a jab punch. Let's take your right foot forward, left foot back. Okay. A jab punch is coming from the front arm. Okay. Again, a jab comes from the front arm. So in this case, it'll be your right arm. Your right elbow is going to come down into the rib cage, extend forward to the target, and then back in. Now, anything that's underneath you, you want to be able to move. Okay. If you just stand and don't move, you don't get much power behind it. If you move your body, you get a lot more power. The power comes from your core and your hip area, not from the arm. Okay? So always remember that. Let your feet pivot. The heels should be off of the ground. Feet are turning back and forth with any punch. Okay? So let's try just a jab. Guard is up, right foot forward. You're taking your right arm forward since it's the front arm. Bending down into the rib cage, extending forward and back. Okay, slow motion, just make sure the feet are turning. Rotate the hips. That also protects your knees, it protects your ankles and your hip joints. So always protecting the joints while we're getting the most amount of power out of the hip. Okay, do this a little longer, slow motion. When you're ready, you can speed it up. Just make sure that the power is coming from the core, the hip area, and not the arm. Keep going. Also important right here, when you're doing these hits, making sure that you're exhaling your air out with every point of contact. So every hit needs to be an exhale. So, okay, let's switch sides. Same exact punch, so we're still doing a jab. Again, the jab comes from your front arm. So we're on left side, left foot forward, left arm forward. So coming down to the rib cage and pivot. Down and pivot. Keep that going, slow motion. Making sure there's still bend in your knee. Tightness in the core. Exhaling. When you're ready, speed it up. Pivot those feet. Good, shake it out. All right, we're going to our next punch, which is a cross punch. Okay, so switch back to your right foot forward. Cross punch comes across the body, so it's coming from your back arm. Okay, so in this case, if your right foot is forward, you will be punching with your left arm. Okay, guard is up, knees are bent, pelvis is tucked under, shoulders are back. Again, we're coming back across the body with the left arm, cross punch. So that left arm is dipping down, elbow to the rib cage, and it sends it forward. Now notice right here, everything is in alignment, okay? Wrist with the shoulder, with the hip, with the knee, with the foot. So it should feel similar to if you were doing a workout lunge, one of these, okay? So once you come forward with the punch, you should be in that lunge position, and then you bring it back to your stance. Dip down, lunge position, back to your stance. Okay? Slow motion, making sure the feet are pivoting, everything's turning. Slow motion. This one's a little bit more movement through the hips, so make sure you're watching yourself either on your video camera or in front of a mirror. Get that correct technique so that you don't injure ankles, knees, or hips. Go slow motion for a little bit longer. Practicing that exhale out as you make that contact with the fist. Once you're ready, speed it up just a little bit. We're working on technique here. Once we get going in cardio, you won't have as long to think about your technique. So you want to establish really good technique so you do not injure anything in the process of our cardio. Speed it up as you go. Remember to exhale. Good. Switch on over to the other side. Okay, so now our left foot is in front. Our right arm is the one hitting with a cross punch. Okay, guard is up, pelvis tucked under, shoulders back, knees are bent. Slow motion, right arm or right elbow comes down into the rib cage. It extends forward, and you pivot those feet. So again, you're ending in that lunge position. Right here, bring it back in. Bring it down and in. Down and in. Now, one thing to think about, you shouldn't be lifting up as you punch. A lot of times I see that, okay? What that's doing is straightening your legs and it's pulling your balance off. So if someone was to sweep a leg through, they would knock you off your feet, okay? So make sure that you're down, kind of in a defense position at all times, okay? So back to our cross punch with the right arm, right elbow into the rib cage, send it through, you're still bent, and you bring it back in and you're still bent. Okay? Down, through, and up. Practice slow-mo. Pivot those feet. Use your hips. Engage your core. Remember to breathe. Just speed it up as you can. Keep it as slow as you need to. Remember to keep those knees bent. Guard up. Pivoting the feet. Check your knee and hip alignment. Good. Okay, our next punch is a hook punch. Okay, if you can see my arm here, it's like a 90-degree arm when you finish with the punch. Okay, so 90 degrees in the arm. All right, so we're coming back to our right foot in front. We're going to do this both ways because we will incorporate it both ways within the cardio. So our hook punch can come from, for now, either the front or the back arm. Okay, so with a hook, really remember to get into those hips, into the knees, and pivot. The hips is where your power comes from, so remember that. So your hook, elbows are bent, guard is up, knees bent, hips tucked under. Okay. Right arm is coming down into the rib cage and coming through. Okay. I want you to put, for now, this other hand up and make that your target hand. Okay. So you're coming down into the rib cage, you're coming through, pivot the feet, and make a target here. Okay. So make contact right there. So coming down, through, make contact. Down, through, make contact. Pivot those feet. Down, through, make contact. Keep that going. Pivoting the feet. Now, once you have that idea in mind of where that contact would be, you can take that arm away, just bring it back to your guard, and pivot into that hook. Okay? Remember the 90-degree angle in the elbow. You don't want your wrist turned like this. You want it flat, in line with the elbow. Okay? 90 degrees. Also, what we don't want to see is just the arm swinging around. Okay? So some things you might see in the movies where this arm comes way out. Let's don't do that. The closer you are to your body, the more control you have over your movement. So you don't want to sling the arms way out here in defense. You want to stay close. Okay? So with your hook, elbow again comes into the rib cage and fist comes toward kind of the side of the body, as if you're aiming for that person's cheek or nose or chin area, okay, anywhere in the face area, if they're about the same height as you. Okay, so you can put that scenario into your head. So dipping down, coming through. Dipping down and through. Engage the core. Pivot the feet. Keep those knees bent the whole time. Remember to breathe. Now when you get ready, this is kind of an awkward punch if you've never done it before. So stay here in slow motion if you need to. Once you get ready, you can speed it up. Make sure though that your feet are still pivoting, your hips are still rotating. Okay, staying on the same side, so still the right foot is forward. We're coming through with the hook from the back arm. Okay, so now we're on the left arm. Okay, back arm, left arm is coming down, elbow to the rib cage, and coming through to the front. Okay, so your target now is standing in front of you. If you need this hand for contact, pull it up, dip it down, and make contact here. Now notice in this hook, you are again back into that lunge, that workout lunge. Okay, you're starting here in your stance bent, making sure that your stance is not straight and it's not way out here. You have a good defense stance underneath you. Elbow into the ribs, come through. Elbow down, come through. Ending again, check your alignment. Knees and feet and hips are all in a straight line once you finish right here. Okay? Always check that alignment when you get done. When you don't need that target anymore, you can take it away. Keep going. Okay, switch on over to the other side. So your left foot comes forward now, your right foot is back. Now it's the same exact process whether you're using the front or your back arm for your hook. Okay, so let's start out with the front arm. So we're using left arm first. Left elbow comes down into the rib cage and it slides across, flat across right here and makes contact. Remembering to pivot your feet. Your feet always turn the direction your punch is going. Go slow motion. Slow as you need to. Stay down. Remember not to bounce up. Stay low. Core is engaged. Speed up whenever you can. Good, let's go on with the back arm. So we're going with our right arm here. You're dipping down into the rib cage and sliding it flat forward. Again, your target is in front of you now, okay? Ending in that lunge. Always check your alignment. Go slow motion. Use that target hand if you need to. Make it more visual for yourself. Go as slow as you need to. Check your alignment. Check in the mirror of the video what your feet, your knees, and your hips are doing. Speed it up when you can. All right, shake it out. We have one more punch coming up. That's an uppercut. Okay, let's not think about the movies again. Okay, if we think about the movies, we see the person bringing it way back and then they bring it up. Okay, again, the closer you are to your own body, the more control you have over your movement. Okay, So elbow always needs to come into the rib cage in order to start, all right? From a side angle, again, that's elbow into the rib cage and straight up. Okay, so your target is right here, all right? Elbow down to the rib cage and up, all right? Again, the closer you stay to your body, the more control you have. Also, you don't want to advertise to your opponent that you're about to make contact with them, okay? You want it to be a surprise as opposed to here it comes, okay? All right, so guard is up. Let's move back to right foot in front. Let's go uppercut with the back arm. So left arm is doing the uppercut. It's dipping elbow to the rib cage and straight forward. Now notice my alignment again, okay? Fist with the elbow, with the knee, with the ankle, with the hip. Everything is in a straight line. In other words, you don't want this knee hanging out here, okay? That's torquing against the hip. That'll cause some pressure and some pain, okay? So be sure the feet follow through with that punch, okay? They give it more oomph in the punch, okay? Slow motion, as long as you need it. Elbow in, pivot forward. Elbow in, pivot forward. Down and up. Down and up. Up. As slow as you need to, check your alignment, your technique. Tuck those hips under, engage the core. Keep it going. Speed it up when you can. Good. Shake it out. Switch on over to the other side. Left leg is forward. That means you're uppercutting with your right arm. Okay? Slow motion. Elbow into the rib cage and send it forward with the lower body. Again, elbow down, send it forward. Down and up. Pivot those feet. Check your alignment. Pivot those feet. Speed it up when you can. Good. All right. Shake it out. Okay, we're moving to a core exercise, one that we do quite often within our cardio portion of our exercise routine. Okay, guard is always up, hips are tucked under. So again, a side angle of that, guard up, knees bent, hips tucked, shoulders back. Okay, so there's your side view. This next move is called zigzag. So take your stance, hips tucked under, knees bent, zigzag. You're just going to go side to side, like as if you're cutting your body in half. The lower body doesn't move, the upper body does. Now, if you're doing this in the correct stance, the proper position here, You should feel this a lot in your core. If you don't, check your alignment in the mirror. Okay, make sure the knees are bent, make sure the hips are tucked under, core is engaged automatically, shoulders are back, okay, and go side to side. You should feel that a lot in the center core. You should also feel it in the oblique area, the love handle area. Okay, just keep it going until you feel that position. Glutes are squeezing. Okay, let's rest for a second. We're going to come back into that movement, making sure that we can get into that proper stance with the pelvis rolled and tucked under. Okay? So again, feet apart, knees bent, roll that pelvis forward, tuck it under, engage the core, shoulders back, and zigzag. Pretend now like you're dodging someone hitting you. Someone hitting you here, they're hitting you here. You're dodging back and forth. Okay, that's what this movement should imitate. You're blocking or you're dodging. Again, you should feel that in the obliques, side area, and the core, the abdominal wall. Good. All right, shake it out. Okay, we're moving on with the lower half of the body. We've got kickboxing, and it's not just boxing. So we've got the boxing portion of it with 4 punches so far, and now we're moving on with adding 4 kicks, okay? Also adding a knee strike. We're starting with a knee strike. Now it says knee strike, but you're not actually making contact with the bone or the joint area of the knee. You're making more contact with the inner thigh area, okay? So instead of the knee, although it's called a knee strike, your contact is being made more with the inner thigh area. So you're going to moving your hips forward to make contact, okay? So this is as if you're grabbing someone by the shoulders and you're pulling them into you and your knee or thigh area into them, okay? So that's the scenario that I want you to put in your head. You're grabbing them by the shoulders, you're pulling them into you, and you're pushing your leg, your inner thigh area, into them to make contact. Okay, now it happens a lot faster than that, but we're going to go slow motion to start with. Typically, this is going to happen with your back leg. Okay, you wouldn't get much power from the front leg. All right, so you're coming from your back leg to make contact here. So you're grabbing them by the shoulders, you're pulling them into you, and you're pushing your leg forward into them. Okay, think of into their gut area. All right, grab, pull, push. Grab, pull, push. Grab, pull, push. Now once you kind of get the hang of it, you can move a little bit quicker, but I do want you to focus mostly on your technique for now. The speed will come during our cardio portions. For now, we're focusing on technique. So again, making sure that you're making contact with the inner thigh area, that you're not thrusting the knee into them. That will hurt you more than it would hurt them. Okay? So again, grab, pull, push. Grab, pull, push. Just keep that going. A few more slow motion. Always engaging your core. Speed it up when you can. The pull and the push are now probably happening at the same time. Now, also when you grab that person, you're placing your hands on them forcefully. You're not just laying your hands there, okay? You want to pretend like you are defending yourself at all times. So, grab, pull, pull. Do a few more, speed it up if you can. Okay, switch legs. All right, so now your left leg is in front. Slow motion again. What feels normal to one side sometimes feels really awkward to the other. So just go slow until you get the hang of it. Grabbing the shoulders, pulling, and pushing. Grab, pull, push. Grab, pull, push. Speed it up when you can. Go slow if you need to. Watch your technique in the mirror. Speed it up. Inner leg is where the contact is being made. Good, good. Shake out those legs. Again, that's called a knee strike. Okay, knee strike, but the strike is being made with the inner thigh. All right, your next movement is a front kick, or also called a front push kick. Okay, you've probably had your arms full of stuff. Okay, you had no hands available, no arms available, and you had a swinging door, and you just pushed the door open. Okay, that's what this kick should feel similar to. Okay, you're pushing through the target. Now, once we get going with our cardio portion, it probably won't feel too much like you're pushing through the target because it's fast and it's quick. The movement is still the same movement though. Okay, making sure though that you are kicking with the bottom portion of the shoe. You never want to point your toes on this kick. Okay, if you did and you kicked with a pointed foot, it would likely hurt your ankle, your foot, maybe even break your ankle or foot. Okay, and it would not hurt that other person. So we want to push through that target, that other person. Let's bring our right foot back in front. We're kicking forward with our left leg. Okay, now this one could switch. It could go front leg or back leg. Okay, for now we're coming from our back leg. All right, with our left foot, you're chambering the leg up. Okay, so what I mean by chamber is pull the guard in, kind of in a W shape, into the rib cage. Leg is up, bent position, foot is flexed. You're pushing forward and back in. Okay, so you always start in a bent position and you end in that bent position. Okay, so bend, push out, bend, back in. Now, if you were really kicking through something, you would push through. Okay, so you can practice it both ways. If you have a target at home, a standing dummy, then you would do that kick pushing through. Okay, so that you make more movement in that dummy. Okay, if you just make contact here, that's good too, and that's more of what we're doing for the cardio portion. Okay, so let's go slow motion again with our left leg coming up, chambering the arms and the leg up, squeezing that oblique here so that you have balance, pushing through with the bottom of the shoe, back in and down. Slow, slow motion. Okay, chambering in, kicking through, in, and down. I'm going to turn for each angle so that you can see different angles of the body. Chambering in, kicking through, back in, and down. From this angle, you have chamber in, kicking through, back in, and down. And opposite angle, you've got chamber in, kick, in, down. Okay? So work at your own pace. Use the mirror. Go slow motion, bring it up, bring it out, bring it in, and down. Making sure that you notice this foot has to turn a little bit, just like it did in the punches. Your feet have to be free to turn, to pivot. Okay? You don't want it to stay here because you're torquing and you're squeezing the legs in, the hips are rotating in, which is not good. Okay? Let the hips kind of rotate open. You have more freedom of movement that way. Okay? Chamber in, out, in, and down. Notice here that the foot is turning out Toes are turning out, heels are turning in. Okay, so observe the bottom foot, the foot I'm standing on here. Heel is in, toes are out, away from the other leg. Extend and back in. Okay. Go as slow as you need to. Let that foot pivot. So make sure you're on the surface that allows you to do that. Otherwise, you're going to be injuring your knees and hips and ankles. Okay, speed it up when you can. Remember, the bottom of the shoe is what's making contact. Good. Shake it out. We're switching legs. Left foot comes forward. Right foot is your kicker foot. Okay? Guard is up. Slow motion. Chambering the leg in. Flexing that foot. Extending it out. Back in and down. Remember to breathe. Bottom of the shoe is kicking the target. Speed it up when you can with good technique. So if you're still unsure, keep it slow. One other thing, if your feet don't pivot on the floor you're on, you can take that foot and step. Okay? Step the foot out so that you're aligned properly. Okay? You don't want it forward or turning in. So if you're not able to turn very well, take it step, make your kick, and bring it back. Okay? So step, kick, bring it back in. Good. Again, those were front kicks. Next kick we're moving to is a side kick. So it's out to the side. Your target is on the side of your body. Okay? Same rules apply here as applied on the front kick. You're still chambering the leg in. You're flexing the foot. Always in a bent position to start with. Core is engaged, okay, to keep your balance steady. Guard up, hips tucked, chamber the leg in. Now it's kind of flat, okay, like it's laying on a table here. Table's underneath. You're kicking the leg out, pushing through the heel, bringing it back in and down. Now notice again this foot that's on the ground is turning out. Heel is rotated toward me, toes are out away from me. Okay? Always make sure that foot is turned out. Okay? If it is not turned out, it kind of looks like this. If it's turning in, you kind of have this going on. Okay? You can probably tell by looking that that does not look like a kickboxing kick. You also have no motion, range of motion here if you're closing your hips in. So open the hips out and you have a much wider range of motion. Okay? Again, slow motion, stepping, turning the right foot out, chambering the left leg in, kicking out with the heel of the foot, bring it back in and down. Okay? Now going super slow like that is pretty difficult. If your balance is a little off, you'll get there. Okay? Just keep working on it, but still go slow as you can. Okay? Just so you get some really good practice on technique. Okay? All right, let's keep it going super slow. Step it out or turn it out, either way. Bring the leg up, chamber in, kick out, back in, and down. Just keep that going at your own pace. And speed it up when you can. Now, one thing I want to mention, I did always say to have your guard up. Your arms need to be able to move just a little bit. It's just kind of a natural movement. You don't want them to hold here while you're kicking. That's unnatural. Okay? So if they adjust kind of to a W shape, then you're good. Okay? As long as your guard is up, ready to defend your face while you're kicking. Okay? So keep it moving. Good. Let's try the other side of the body. So kicking with our right side, making sure the left foot is turned out, toes are out, heel is toward me. Okay? Chambering the leg in, squeezing the core, pushing out with the heel, bringing it back in and down. Just really slow. Get the hang of it. Like I said, you might have one side of the body that gets it a little quicker than the other. Work on your balance, your core strength. When you're ready, you can speed it up just a little. Also, if it feels better, you can step into it. That's going to give you more power as well, instead of just coming from this dead stop. Okay? So step, kick. Always look at your target. Watch where you're kicking. Again, this is a side kick or a side push kick. Okay, good. Just shake out the legs a little bit. All right, our next one is called a back kick, back push kick, or a donkey kick. Okay, whichever one you want to go by, whichever one makes the most sense. Okay, I want you to put this scenario in your head. Okay, you are kicking towards someone behind you, toward their shin or knee area. Okay, so it's not a super high kick, it's more toward the shin and the knee area, right? The foot is still flexed, that means unpointed, okay? Guard is still up, you're chambering the leg in, you're pushing it back, back in, and down. In, back, in, down. Right there, okay? Let me turn so you see this angle. Guard is up, core is engaged, chamber in, kick back, in, and down. Again, kicking back toward the shin and the knee area here. Bringing it back in and down. Okay? So go with me here. Chambering in, kicking back, in, and down. Side angle here, looks like that. So just straight back. Making sure, though, that you're starting from that bent position. That's what gives you the power for the kick. If you're just starting with the leg up, then you don't have any power. So power comes from this top position. So bend in, kick back, in, and down. Okay? So practicing still with that same leg. In, back, in, down. Keep it going. And turn again if you need to see this angle. Good. Switch over to the other leg. Again, slow motion here. Chamber in. Kick it back, in, and down. Now, you would also be looking to your target here as well. Looking over the shoulder at the target and back. Okay? There's the other angle. Keep it going. Keep it going. Speed it up if you can. Good. Again, back kick, back push kick, or donkey kick. Okay? Our final kick for today is a roundhouse kick. This is a modified roundhouse kick. So if you have kickboxing background, karate, martial arts, you've likely done this a little bit differently. We do this cardio style most of the time, so it's more of a modified roundhouse. Some of the same rules still apply. The foot is going to point in this kick. Okay? You're making contact with the shin and the top of the shoestring area of the foot. Okay? So, in this case, if you were to flex the foot, your foot would make contact with your target there. Okay? That's not a good thing. All right? So it would kind of jam your ankle or your toes. We don't want that. So make sure you're pointing the foot in this case. Now, this can be a low kick. It can be kind of level with the hip, or it can be a high kick kind of up to the neck and the head area. Okay? Kick wherever you are comfortable. If you've never done this before, stay low for a little bit, get good technique before you bring it up to higher levels. Okay? Again, point the foot on a roundhouse kick. Remember that, all right? That will protect your feet. Okay? Also, in this kick, the foot that's on the ground is going to need to rotate. Okay? It's going to need to spin. All right? That's a little bit hard to do once we get going super fast in cardio. So in that case, if we are going quick and you don't have time to turn the foot and turn it back, then you're going to do 1, 2, 3. We usually have 3 marches before it, or if we just have a step before it, you're going to step with the foot turned out already. Okay? That way you're not having to rotate back really quick, and you're not injuring anything that way. Okay? So if you were doing this with an actual target or a shield, then you would rotate and bring it back. Okay? That shield that you make contact with would send you back with this foot. Okay? So the heels need to be, again, off the ground, always in kickboxing, to where you can move and be able to defend yourself. Okay? For now, since we're talking more of cardio style, we're just going to step with the foot already turned out. Now, you still may have just a little bit of turn and rotation when you bring the leg up with that foot. Okay? So, turning the foot, stepping out with your right foot, chamber your left leg in, as if you're kicking yourself in the booty. The leg is as high as possible here with the foot aiming toward your seat, okay? You're bringing it out, bringing it back in, okay? So the chamber of this kick is different. You're not chambering forward, you're not chambering here, you're chambering back behind yourself, okay? Foot is kicking the booty, okay? All right, so I'm going to turn and face this way as if my target was more toward you. You're going to rotate, kick the target, and bring it back. Kick and bring it back in, okay? Now, again, that's a little tough to do, spinning the foot when we get going quick in cardio. So, again, turn the foot, kick, and bring it back down, okay? Step, turn the foot, kick, bring it back down. Slow motion again, step, bring it in, kick it out, bring it back in, and down. Okay? So you want to chamber, kick it out, bring it in, down. All right? From the back view of that, you're turning the foot out, chambering the leg in, back behind you, making contact, shoestrings, and back in. Okay? Other side of the body looks like this, chambering in, kicking out, back in, and down. Low would look like this. The foot is still pointed at all times. Again, your contact is shin area to the top of the shoestrings. Okay? So let's start out right foot in front, left foot behind. Your left foot behind is your kicking leg. Roundhouse. All right? Guard is up. Stepping with your right foot, turning it out. Chambering in, kicking out, back in, and down. Now this one is probably the most difficult kick, so go slow, pace yourself, use as much time as you need to get that technique. Again, we don't want anything injured. We want muscles working, joints not injured. Go slow. If you want to see the side angle, here's side angle. So if you want to do it that way, if that's more comfortable, just stand facing the front, turn out, kick. Turn out, in, out, kick. Out, kick. Keep it going. Only speed it up when you're ready. If you're not ready, keep it low, keep it slow. Take a few more kicks here. Whatever speed you need to do. Last one. Go ahead, shake out that leg. You're switching over to the other side. Okay, right foot is kicking here. Turning the left foot out. Chamber in, out, in, and down. In, out, in, down. So those shoestrings, if you're facing me, the shoestrings should be also facing me when you extend the leg. Okay? Turning your standing leg out, chamber in, out, in, and down. Keep it low if you need it. Guard stays up. Go as slow as you need to. Point that foot. Again, hips should be rotated out, not in. Okay, rotate it out so you have more range of motion. Keep it going. Speed it up whenever you can. Point those shoestrings to me if you're facing me. Wherever you're facing, shoestrings and shin. Foot is pointed. Good. All right, shake it all out. Let's do a few stretches, stretching the arm across. Okay, those are the few basic punches and few basic kicks that we will be doing within our cardio workouts. There will be many things added as the course moves on. So just watch for new moves, new kicks, new punches. Take the arms back behind the body. Roll it up if you can. Chin up. Shake it out. Also, if you have experience in kickboxing, make sure that if you have a shield or if you have someone to hold a shield for you, that you use that at home. Okay? Although we won't be using it necessarily in the video most of the time, if you have that available and know how to use it, by all means, please use that. It will expend more energy and boost your cardio. Okay, keep stretching those legs. Let's bring them apart, over to one side. Look up. And bring it over to the other side. Okay, let's flatten the back. So from a side angle, let's bend the knees, arms on the thighs, flatten the back. Then you're going to roll the back up, all the way up, and flatten again, and roll it up. One more time, flat, and roll it up. Now remember, with any exercise, but especially with kickboxing, if you feel it later, the next day or the next, in your joints, in your back, in your knees, your hips, your ankles, your elbows, your shoulders, then we're doing something a little bit wrong, okay? So make sure that you're targeting the muscle area, not the joint area. So, a couple other things to remember. Just like with lifting weights, if you're lifting a weight here with a bicep curl, you don't want to drop it down into a locked position, okay? That pulls against the joint. So same concept. If you're punching, you don't want to extend completely out. That's going to injure your elbows. So have a slight bend to the elbow at any point in that punch. So the furthest reach that you have for that punch, in slow motion here, should have a slight bend to the elbow before it comes back in. Never lock your joints out. Same thing with the kicks. So if you're kicking a front kick, you still want a slight bend in the knee, extension, but it's a slight bend. You never want to lock out the joint. That will pull against the knee and be uncomfortable for you. Okay? So never locking the joints out, keeping a slight bend to the elbows and the knees at all times. Okay, great job. See you next time.